Today at Some Dude's Grill, where we'll be making Applewood smoked pork ribs with Some Dude's pork paste. And beware, I'm gonna commit heresy. I love pork ribs. Love everything about them except the time it takes to cook them. So here's a recipe that I'm going to cook on a Weber kettle grill for an hour. And yes, they're not fall off the bone, but I don't care. I have teeth. I love the caveman mentality of rip the meat off the bones. And I don't use a dry rub, I'm sorry. I use a paste. Maybe it's just a little different than a dry rub, but I think it has a totally different effect on the ribs. One that tastes so great, you do not need any barbecue sauce. You're going to love these ribs. The first thing you're going to need is applewood. And I soaked the applewood in apple juice for at least an hour. Drain off the excess juice and it'll be ready for the grill. So let's go over the items that you'll need for the pork paste. You'll need a half cup of brown sugar, a quarter cup unfiltered apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, 1 tablespoon paprika, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of granulated garlic, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of mustard powder, and 1 teaspoon of cayenne. We're going to place all of these items into a bowl and we're going to mix until thoroughly combined. When it's done, you're going to have this very nice, thick, unctuous paste. And you will have enough paste to do at least 3 racks of ribs, slathering the paste on both sides of the ribs. So here's our rack of ribs. I'm only going to cook one today. We're going to take the pork paste and we're going to slather it on both sides nice and thick. Here's my kettle Weber grill. As you can see, the coals are all to one side, and yes, I'm just using regular briquettes. I do have a rib rack set up because I am going to cook these off heat or indirect heat. We're going to add the soaked apple wood to the coals. We're going to add the ribs to the rack. I'm going to put the bone side towards the coals. I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to let it rip. At some point in time, I'm going to have to add additional wood chips. I may have to do that 2 times, but with 3 cups of wood chips, there is plenty of chips for the smoking to be done. Here's our rack of ribs. This is cooked for exactly an hour. As you can see, it has this beautiful, deep, rich amber color. There's a crust that has been formed, and I think it looked great. Let's take a look on the inside. As you can see, perfectly pink in color. That's how I like my ribs. There's a beautiful smoke ring to it. They're juicy, and best of all, cooked in an hour. Just an hour. Granted, they're not fall off the bone, but that's not what I want. You can go caveman on these things and you're going to absolutely love them. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.